Well, good morning and hello. Welcome back to another video. This morning we're still in my office. Sorry. Hopefully get a chance to get out a little bit more here, but uh, I like to do some of these retirement videos from outside, but today it's still early in the morning, and figured I'd film from here, record in my office. Nothing like getting up on a Friday morning, before sunrise, heading to the doctor, going to the doctor's office. Basically sit there for a couple minutes and have them come in and put a monitor on your chest, which is right here. All right. I don't know if you can see the outline of that, but a monitor I have to wear for the next 48 hours so it can check my heartbeat to find out, how often am I having these extra heartbeats. So, really no updates from the last video at this point. And this video should air also while I'm in Ireland. So, as I get more info, I'll share it. But as of right now, I don't have anything in addition. But I thought I'd take some time this morning and talk about bucket lists. Everybody has a bucket list. At least they talk about it. All right. So what is it? Should you have one? All right. Bucket list is something a list of accomplishments, that you want to achieve, in your lifetime or in a specific period of time. And I made a list many, many years ago. All right. Probably, I don't know. It was definitely in the 80s. All right. So a long time ago. Let's call it 40 years ago, 40 plus years ago. All right. I made a list, all right, of the things I wanted to accomplish, my bucket list. And believe it or not, there's one item left on that list. All right. And hopefully by the 20th of April, I will be able to check that off. And that'll be traveling to Australia. All right. Something I always wanted to do. Was on my bucket list. And hopefully I continue to be able to make that happen. So definitely looking forward to that. But if I've accomplished everything on my bucket list, I need to come up with a new one. All right, and I don't know. I'm not sure if everybody out there believes in the bucket list, type of a setup. But I think it's important. Always have thought it was important. Always thought, if something was really important to you and you really wanted to push yourself to accomplish it, write it down. All right. And then, work hard to make it happen. And again, I've been lucky. I'm not going to kid anybody. In my lifetime, sitting here at age 61, to accomplish everything on my bucket list, with the exception of one thing, is to me, it's either my list was too easy or I've just been blessed to make it happen. And I truly believe I've just been blessed to make it happen. And so I'm coming up with a new retirement bucket list. So I want to talk about it here for a few minutes, talk about a couple of things that are on this list. And the list doesn't have to be long. And right now, I've added some things to my list. I've written it down. It's right here in front of me on my laptop. All right. And again, if you've got a bucket list, make sure the things are written down. Keep it in front of you so you look at it and you work hard to achieve it, or at least try to. And if you don't achieve everything on it, that's okay. But put it in writing. I've always believed that if you put it in writing, you'll work harder for it, and that's worked very well for me, over the years. So what's on my list? All right, first item on my list is an interesting one, probably for me, but not necessarily for everybody on here. I want to camp at the wall, all right, and I want to photograph sunrise there. Now, what's the wall? All right, the wall is a dispersed camping area south of Wall, South Dakota, right on the edge of the Badlands. All right, it is one of the most popular, dispersed camping places, in the country. All right, and it basically you camp in this spot and you look out over the Badlands. All right, and when the sun comes up, it illuminates everything, and that's. A lot of people do it. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about it. I encourage you to look it up. Some people call it nomad view. All right, same thing. Doesn't matter. It's the same area. All right, but my wife and I were in the Badlands in 2021, and I got a chance to see this area, and it's like I have got to take some time and come here and photograph it. So what I want to do is I want to take the adventure Jeep. I want to travel out there. I want to camp overnight right there on the wall. Get up early, and as the sun comes up. I want to make sure, that I try to photograph it. So I will work on making that happen, I hope, after I get back from Australia. That's the top of my list. All right. All right. So the next thing on my list is I want to photograph sunrise and sunset at the Grand Canyon. And the reason for that, I've mentioned this, I think, in a few other videos, but, my dad, who died at age 66, back in 2009, his dream was always, his bucket list thing was always to go to the Grand Canyon, and he never got a chance to go. He died before he got a chance to be there. I want to go and make that journey. I want to, photograph sunrise and sunset so I have something to remember by, but I want to do that for my dad. All right. So that's got to be on my bucket list. That's not been on my bucket list. It is on my bucket list now because I just think it's something I should do. All right. Next item on my list, I want to go to Africa and do an African safari. Haven't been to Africa yet. Would like to do it. And I love photograph wildlife. I can't think of a better place, to do that. So and it's not going to be easily achievable for me, but it's something that I want to do. All right. And then the next thing I put on my list, and I've accomplished some of it, and I will accomplish most of it, but this is important to me, is I want to visit all 7 continents. All right. Why? When I was a kid, I've talked about this before in other videos. I grew up in a house next to railroad tracks. My bedroom was literally right by the tracks. The train would go by every night or every other night. Always wake me up. And we were never wealthy or anything like that. And traveling anywhere just was, way off. Like many kids, from my generation, traveling or, fancy places for us, was to visit family or to go camping somewhere. My fondest memories from being a kid as far as, vacations and things like that, we traveled to Mammoth Cave, and we went to where Abraham Lincoln was born, and we did a few other things. And that was a great vacation and a great opportunity to learn, and something I remember even to this day. I absolutely enjoyed it. And, but as a kid sitting there and you're watching things on TV, people showing things going on all around the world, and the most you've ever seen in the world is Mammoth Cave, all right, or Michigan, all right, or Ohio. It's hard to believe you could go anywhere, and so far today, not counting Australia, all right, I've been to 4 continents, or with Australia, I've gone to Asia, I've gone to Australia, I've gone to Europe, and North America, all right. Africa, if I can do the safari, we'll check that off the list, and that leaves me South America and Antarctica. And I want to do that because I want, the kid that grew up by the railroad tracks that dreamed of, going to Glacier National Park and dreamed of, going to Australia, to actually be able to say achieved, all 7 continents or visiting all 7 continents, I think is a great thing. And I think that's a great way to fulfill my life. And hopefully, my kids, when they watch this video, they'll recognize, what? Maybe I should have a bucket list where I do things like that, because, you can achieve anything, all right? You just got to work for it and work hard at it. Nothing's beyond your grip or your grasp. You just got to reach for it, push for it, try to make it happen. Now, that doesn't mean everything happens, but you certainly do everything you can. So far, that's my list, all right? Now I add a few more things to it. I don't want to put more than 10 items on it, all right? But that's going to be my list. I'll add a couple more here as we go. But now, do you have a list? And if you do, share it. Share it, in the comments down below. I'd love to see what other people, put on their list, because it doesn't have to be visiting exotic places or doing things like that. It could be other things, but, it is, something I think we all should do. Just a personal thing where I think we should be striving to do it. So anyway, I don't want to ramble. All right. I just want to, share that. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share this video or other videos. Help us grow the channel. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what's on your bucket list. All right. I think that would be great. So until we see you again, stay safe.